Hi folks, how you doing? The time of filming this is the 11th of January 2024. So I got the idea for this video yesterday. So you know, if you saw yesterday's content, well actually I'm not filming this, I'm not going to post this on the day after you've seen that video. You know, for some of you that watched this week, I'm reading book 1, Dolores Cannon, Convoluted Universe. This video is probably going to be a long video. This video is going to be a little bit of waffle from Claire, sharing some of my own stuff and some of my own experiences and findings. So it's not, I'm not going to be able to do this video in a short one. It's going to be a long one. Anyway, it's also an investigation that I'm inviting you guys along with, because I know there's a whole range of different people that follow me, that practice different modalities, that have had different life experiences, different goals, different outlooks, different paths, that work with different modalities and different life experiences. Some are older, some are younger, some are the same age. So this isn't me telling you, and actually I'd hate for you to ever view any video I do where me telling you. It's an investigation. I was going to do this work anyway, but I wasn't going to film it. But then I thought, actually I think you guys would like to watch me do it and listen to me waffle on and talk about what I feel and what I sense from my own experiences. Okay. So, in book 1, Convoluted Universe, Dolores talks to one of her clients and they start to cover a chapter called Atlantis, where they go back and they talk about Atlantis, what was Atlantis, what happened to Atlantis. So I've always been drawn to Atlantis, and so I'm all over this chapter. I'm still reading it. I'm taking my time with these books, I'm not rushing through them. I can be quite a fast reader when I want, but with these books I'm really taking my time, because I want to savour it. So, I've always been drawn to Atlantis. It's always been right up my street, so I'm loving this chapter. In 2017, we went on honeymoon. We went on a cruise on Queen Mary 2 from United Kingdom over to New York, North America, into Canada, back to New York, back over the Atlantic Ocean, back to United Kingdom. It was 4 weeks, and it was also the 4 weeks in which I had my first major awakening while sailing over the Atlantic Ocean. I'd never been on the Atlantic Ocean before, and I literally went from, I don't even know how I'm going to find the words to explain it. It was intense, it was huge, it was actually scary at times. I'd always had the gift, I'd always had the third eye, I was talking to spirit before I was even talking to humans. There's stories of me as a baby, talking to people that nobody could see. Anyway, freaky, I know, but there you go. But I was a dental nurse, I was just where I was. I didn't do this work then, and I went on honeymoon and literally boom, 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 the chakra. Every chakra, especially the crown and the third eye, I was seeing spirit, sensing spirit. I had picked up things to do with the Titanic. By the time we got to New York, I was hyper sensitive, and I was actually asking my guides about it. And I thought, actually, that was quite a cruel thing to do, spirit, to actually get somebody to a point where they were so sensitive to then land them in the middle of New York when they'd never even been to America, New York. Those of you that have been to New York know that it's a very busy city. And my guide says, really, Claire? Why? And I was like, well, you know, why could you not have led me to some woods or a calm beach or a lake somewhere? And my guide was like, yes, but the whole point of that was so that you could experience that on the ocean, get to New York, and actually learn in that moment how to bring calm when you're surrounded by noise and stimulation. We as in spirit wanted to see you do it. We wanted to see if you were capable of doing it. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for that. And actually I thought, yeah, because I remember I sat on a bus. We went on a tour bus, and I remember thinking, there's no calm around me, so I have to make calm. And I remember going into a real calm space and actually enjoyed New York and loved New York and actually found peace in New York. And the thing is, you know, if you can find peace in a city like New York, when you're feeling hyper, when you're feeling sensitive to everything around you, you know, you want to a good thing, don't you? You know what I mean? If you can do it in a lake, anyone can do it right next to a lake. And then God, I mean, if you've watched me for a while, you know, then I went into we went to, what's it called, Dakota Building, where John Lennon lived, and I started communicating with John Lennon. I'd never done any of this work before, so this was all brand new. The only spirit I'd ever communicated with at that point was my granddad and grandparents. That was it. So it was all very new to me. Went to Ground Zero, started picking up stuff there, talking to spirit about things, and they were telling me things about that day. Then I had this awful experience where my mouth went dry to a point I could barely breathe. Thankfully they waited until I'd actually got round it, because we went like on a tour day and we'd finished, and I just said to Gary, I can't speak. I said, I need a drink. And it was, I don't even know how I spoke. My mouth, there was no saliva. There was no, and it was hot and my skin was burning. I know it's TMI, bear with me. One of you at the time, because I've shared this story before on here, one of you from America has told me at the time, I don't know if it was a client session or if it was a video you wrote in and said, a lot of the people that got caught up in it that day, because of the dust when the tower collapsed, it got in the mouth. So if you think about dust getting in the mouth and the heat, so obviously that's what I was picking up on. Honestly, off the scale. There was one point on the cruise, I was laid on the sunbed looking up, and I could see people that had been on Titanic within the clouds. I was watching them like I am now watching you, like I am looking at this camera. It was intense. So anyway, came back off that honeymoon, went to see a shaman, and the shaman says, usually I'm training people how to open up their third eye and their crown chakra. With you, I'm going to have to, because it's blown. That's what it was like. So anyway, short and sweet. I came back off honeymoon, and over the past, I've always been drawn to Titanic. Then I started this spiritual path, where I properly started the spiritual path. So I started doing classes and teachings and training for myself and all of that, reading books, watching YouTubers, all of that stuff. Talking to other people, connections, and found out about Atlantis. And then I found out where Atlantis was supposed to have been. There's various theories, but the main theory, and the one that Dolores works with, is that it's in the Atlantic Ocean. So I was like, oh. Straight away I thought, what happened with Titanic? Because actually, if you look on the map, Titanic kind of went down right in the middle of Atlantis. And last year, I'm sure it was last year, wasn't it? When Titan went down and imploded. Again, the whole world eyes on Titan and the Atlantic Ocean. I was one of those people. I am obsessed by Titanic. There's very few aspects of history that I'm obsessed by, apart from Titanic. I'm obsessed. I could literally talk about Titanic all day, every day. I could go around museums. I know when Titan happened, I literally was told, Claire, you're getting too obsessive over the phone. I had to come off of it, because I literally on the phone all day when that Titan went missing for that, was it a week? And the longer it went on, the worse I got. Anyway, and I was going on a cruise that week as well, which you don't want to do. And there's that kind of shit happening in the sea. Anyway, I've been piecing this together gradually over the past few months. Of my belief and my feeling is that, what if there was more that day and with Titan than we think? Not to sound crass and cruel, but, and I tell you what, I heard this on a podcast. Somebody was talking about Titanic, and they said, you know, it's weird, isn't it? There's been thousands of marine disasters. There's been thousands of disasters at sea. Some of them a lot worse than Titanic, some of them a lot more tragic. And yet Titanic is the only one that we're still obsessed for. And it is obsession. I own it, I am. It's an obsession that we've still got. Why is that? what if one of the many, because there'll be many aspects to this, what if one of the many reasons behind Titanic at a higher energetic level was to draw our attention back to the Atlantean energy and the place of Atlantis and what happened to mankind? Because whilst ever you're looking at Titanic, you're looking at that Atlantic Ocean. It's then happened again last year with Titan. Now I did say, and I've done a video and I'll put it below in the description, where I talked about Titan and I talked about what I felt about the past lives. I talked about that I felt that a lot of the men that went down with Titan, I feel they had past lives on Titanic and for various different reasons needed to go back to Titanic. But what also if those men also had past lives within Atlantis? What if all of us that are obsessed by Titanic are not obsessed with Titanic? Because it is just a boat. It's just like other ships that have gone down. What if it's not Titanic that we're obsessed with? What if it's Atlantis, the Atlantean energy? We know that situations, places, people hold codes. So what if that whole Titanic situation holds codes? Codes that lead us back to Atlantis. If you think about the story of Atlantis, it was a civilization that went, I mean, if you go online, there's so much information. It's vast. It is a vast. I think the best thing to do with it is just probably go for books. Like I've got a couple of books that I've yet to read. They're on my shelf waiting. And just ask your guys to draw you to certain books or certain YouTube channels, because there's a lot of stuff out there that can get like, whoa, overwhelming. What if it was also, what if we're also being warned, because Atlantis was a civilization that basically destroyed itself. They had amazing gifts, but they started to use their gifts for the wrong reasons. They started to get greedy, they started to get manipulated, and all of that, and it destroyed itself. What if, I mean, there's so many what ifs with this, but what if we're being reminded of that lost civilization? But also, what if we are Atlantis as well? Do you know what I mean? If we're mirroring, like Two of Cups card, the tarot card Two of Cups, where it's two people with a cup looking at each other with the divine coming down. What if we're mirroring each other? What if Atlantis is our warning? And what if we're Atlantis' warning? What if we're caught in the middle? Gary was talking about something last night. He always has to take it scientific and lose me every time he does. What's it called? The Atlantic Ridge, apparently, that runs through, don't quote me on this because I was trying to understand it. The Atlantic Ridge that runs through the Atlantic Ocean, that is getting wider each year. Why is it getting wider? I know there'll be science behind it, but I feel there's something deeper going on, and I'm sure many of you will feel there's something deeper going on, and I'm sure many of you that have experience of that part of the world will be like, oh yay. If you think about Ireland as well, because she, as in the Titanic, went to Ireland as well, didn't she? And the sacredness and the folklore and the wisdom of the Irish soil. Did she, as in Titanic, have to go to Ireland? I know she would have an itinerary that was made by man, but also energetically was there something that she collected from Ireland energetically? Because if you think, I mean, I've been to Ireland, when I went there, it was last year on a cruise, I had a cold, I wasn't that cracking, so I couldn't appreciate it. And hopefully we're going to go back again and see it in much calmer waters when I'm not ill, and when Gary's not ill as well. But was there something sacred with the Irish connection? Is there a connection with Ireland, because you think it's part of it, right, geography is rubbish. There's a part of Ireland that looks out to the, would it be the west coast of Ireland? Imagine, yes. Yeah, it will be the west coast of Ireland that looks out onto the Atlantic Ocean. What do you think? I had another little, was it a download or was it imagination? I don't know. I'll show a vulnerability. This morning, what if also Titanic was also a craft? A spacecraft that was physically a boat. What if it was physically, we saw it physically a boat made by men in Belfast, here it was, Harland and Wolff, they made a boat. But what if it had, what if it was in actual fact a craft, a spacecraft? Stop doing that, Claire. What if it was a spacecraft? What if it's the soul of a spacecraft? That we saw it as a ship, but in actual fact, we saw it as a ship, sails on the water, ship sails in the sky. We saw it as a ship, it was a ship. Was it two types of ship? I've got two decks in front of me. I've got the Oceanic Tarot by Jayne Wallace, very fitting. And I've got the Lemurian Starchild Oracle by Leanne Carpenter and Michiel Kroon, or Michiel Kroon, apologies. I've not pulled any cards whatsoever for this reading. I've been very good and not done that. So, where shall we start? Maybe asking Spirit to explain what I'm feeling. Okay, explain what I'm feeling. Oops, explain what I'm feeling about Titanic and Atlantis. Calm, Six of Swords. Destiny, Wheel of Fortune, look. Portal in the sea. That is something else I've been picking up on as well. A portal, it's the portal. Now I know there's theories, there's the iceberg, was she on fire before she set off, was she swapped and all of that. I get all that, I hear you, I feel all that myself. Physically though, we needed to see something, to understand it as our physical human beings. I think there's a portal under the sea. Look at it. Is it the same portal that took the Titan? And I know there's found, but it's energetic. Or it's done in a way that, because they say sometimes you can be taken by galactics. I have in the past. You what, Claire? Yes. After I got tacked, I have a period where I can't remember anything. Now, doctors will say, that is stress, Claire. I understand that. And you know what? You're right. But you can also be taken to receive downloads, receive care, receive help, and all that kind of stuff. So other people have had it. I mean, Dolores' books are full of this kind of stuff. So when that happens, things to human beings are made to look like, I don't know, accidents, that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? Or they're done in a way that they call it shielded, don't they, where they shield you. So say you're sat on a train and all of a sudden Spirit take you, the galactics take you, the good guys, they're like the guides of light that are going to do it. Everybody else on that train sees nothing. They still see you sat there looking out the window, but you've gone. So people don't get scared and freaked out by it. Next minute you're back, or sometimes you can be back in a different place. Is that going on? Is there a portal under the sea that took them? Were the people on that cruise ship, the Titanic, were they Atlanteans that needed to go back home? What's the card at the bottom of the deck? Achievement, 8 of Pentacles. Four of Swords. Recovery. Hey folks, sorry about that. Number one, I needed the loo and was getting uncomfortable, and number two, I realised I've not had any water, so I've gone and got myself some water and been to the toilet. So, where were we? We were at calm, destiny and recovery. Calm, destiny and recovery. I haven't pulled any more, I promise you, and we'd found out that the Eight of Pentacles was at the bottom. Judgment, self-reflection, I think. Is it what I'm feeling, or is it an aspect of what I'm feeling? Practicality, the King of Wands. Choices, the Lovers. Trust, the King of Pentacles. There's one of the theories that one of the kings of the time of Atlantis, don't quote me on this, there's that many theories on it, it's untrue, didn't like what he was seeing, or was he doing something? Anyway, basically there was an earthquake there. Is that part of the Atlantic Ridge? Is the earthquake, did the earthquake start the Atlantic Ridge? Is it down beneath there? The Wisdom, High Priest. I think I might be onto something in some respects. I feel weird coming and saying this is what it is, and I'll never ever want to be that person, because that's a slippery slope. Try and be humble always, because there's so many different aspects to this, and this is just one tiny fragment of it. But I do feel that the cards are kind of reflecting back to me what I've just been talking about. Six of Swords. Calm. It's where we are as a species. We're in conflict, we're in pain, we're in difficulty, we're in greed, we're in lust, we're in all of that kind of stuff. The portal under the sea opening up. Four of Swords, recovery and rest. Slow down. Remember what you did last time, slow down. You're going to do it again, you're going to burn yourselves out again. Ooh, my toe is rumbling now. Self-reflection. Look at what you're doing. Look at where you've come from. Look at who you all are. Come back to practicality. Maybe we got too woo-woo back then. I'm going to come to another aspect of this. Oh, the choices, the lovers, temptation, the Adam and Eve energy. There's lots of stories, similar stories, mythology, call it what you want, throughout history of similar things. Similar, you know, Adam and Eve destroying themselves, civilizations being destroyed. It's the same thing. And as I'm doing this, many will say at this time that the modern day civilization that we're in now is dismantling. It's the falling of civilization as we know it. Everything's failing. Electronics are failing. Systems are failing. Establishments are failing. Institutions are failing. Family life's failing as well. Everything's failing. Humanities are failing. Humans are failing in so many different ways. But is this a warning to say this isn't the end? This can just be the beginning. And to also watch our ego, especially within spiritual communities. And because there is so much of it, it's one of the reasons why I have stepped back from it all. There are certain buzzwords that I won't even go anywhere near, because I feel as though they have been hijacked and taken way out of context. And you could say, is it the dark doing that? Is it ego doing that? Is it human's pain doing that? Is it unintentional? Is it intentional? It could be all of it, and I think it is all of it. You know, there are many people, especially within the New Age community, that can be quite unkind, really unkind. They can be all something on the surface, but then drop down a little bit and it blows. Okay, let me try the other deck, see what the other deck wants to come out with, which is a very big deck. Same question, please. Way of Pearls, it came up upside down. Liminal space, new energies, trust, time of growth. Portals again. Doorways into now, letting go of the warrior. What have I just said? Letting go of the spiritual warrior. Letting go of the spiritual warrior energy that was maybe in Atlantis. This came up upside down. This came out upright. Liminal space, new energies, trust, time of growth. Is it a time of growth? In some ways it is a time of growth. But in some ways, many people will say actually humanity is the worst it's ever been. You go and speak to police officers right now, you go and speak to social workers, you go speak to doctors, therapists, and they will tell you something totally different. If you went to a police officer now and started talking about New Earth, they would laugh at you because they will say actually you're joking, aren't you? It's never been as bad. You go speak to someone in an area where there's a high crime rate and they'll laugh at you out of the estate if you start mentioning New Earth. You go speak to someone that's just had an awful experience within a cult, within a spiritual cult or a New Age cult, and they'll laugh you out. Because although for many people at this time are growing and developing, there's also something else at play that's taken over. And that we need to put a stop to it within ourselves as well. I know when you're doing the shamanic training, well, I was always told, well, how I did it was, as a group, if you guides get wind of you going into your ego, which can be quite easy when you get a client that comes to you and maybe they've got a really bad entity with them, it's ruining their life, you take it off of them and they go from strength to strength and they heal and they turn the light. It's so easy to go and fly with that and think, whoa, look how amazing I am. They'll find a way to remind you that you need to stay humble. Right, let's look at something else with these cards. You look at Titan, another teaching there. Who was in Titan? Was it the working class man that was in the Titan? No, it was rich men that was rich men. There was no women in there. What's that teaching us about what are our rich doing in this world? I don't believe that everyone on this planet that's rich is a bad person. I think there's some amazing people out there that have billions of pounds that help humanity and that are of service. But there is also an ego and a greed that is infecting many of them. And maybe again at a higher level, maybe by being in that Titan at that time, they were teaching us something about greed, about adrenaline rushes as well, about respecting the ocean, about respecting sacred places like burial graves in the sea. It's the same with space. You've got men flying off, and they are predominantly men that are doing it, and that's not against men, but flying off into space, flying down into the sea. You see how I said flying down? It's flying up, flying down. It's all the same. As above, so below. But also at a higher level, being part of that Titan, and what happened there drew our attention back to the Atlantic Ocean, back to that bit of the Atlantic Ocean. Let me try this deck first. Are Titanic and Atlantis. What is the Titanic and Atlantis connection? What is a Titanic and Atlantis connection? What is a Titanic and Atlantis connection? What is a Titanic and Atlantis connection? Recovery. Endings. Ten of Swords at the bottom. Endings. It's the same cards that we've had before. The Portal. The Queen of Wands. The Passion. That's the energy of the ship. They always say a ship is she, don't they? The Illusion. The Moon. Something that we can't see. Competition. Ace of Wands, growth. You know, if you know the history, I think everybody knows the history of the Titanic, the ego that was on that Titanic as well, the ego of the people that masterminded it. You know, faster, faster, faster. You know, we've got to get into New York at this time, we've got to be at this time. Even when people say you need to slow it down, there's icebergs. No, just keep pushing it ahead. It's the same with society now. Keep pushing it ahead, not heeding the warnings. Not heeding the warnings of where we're going to. Is the Titanic and the Titan a symbolisation of where we are now as a civilization? Because we are a civilization, reminding us of when we were part of Atlantis and what happened. Not respecting the gentleness, not respecting the divine feminine frequency. You know, using our spiritual gifts as boom, you know, being up, you know, spiritual warriors and all of that, but take it away from spiritual community. We know that's what brought down Atlantis, but it's also going to bring us down as well. But take it away into society as a whole. We need to heal that. We've got the card of recovery. We need to heal that. We need to be humble in our growth. Ace of Wands. Have you ever seen the most humble Ace of... Usually Ace of Wands is a big one that comes down. It's like boom, and that's it. But this is quite gentle. It's about gentleness. There's definitely things we're not allowed to see about Titanic, and it's not conspiracy. It's not the conspiracy stuff that surrounds it. I know it's out there, and that's just a recent thing that's come up. This isn't about, this is to do with energy. It's to do with things, and Dolores talks about it in her books. They're always saying it, that the friends that come forward and say, we can't tell you that at this time, Dolores. There's things that we cannot disclose at this time because people are not ready for it. If you think about when things are said, disclosed, seen, there's codes within that that can affect the body. And if the body isn't ready for that, and this isn't about, this isn't about me, because I'm not ready for it yet. You're not ready for it yet. Humanity as a whole isn't ready for it yet. It would blow our mind. That's why you're never really going to see a spaceship or a galactic stood in front of you. You may see it in your third eye, you may glimpse it, but you're never going to go into your garden and see a spaceship open up and you know, galactics walk out, because it'd fry you. It would cook you alive. The energy would just mess you up. It would just mess you up. And the last thing they want to do is mess us up even more than what we are. There's already many people that are seriously ungrounded with all of this. Seriously ungrounded with all of this. And the last thing they want to do is amplify that. So there is stuff here that we're not allowed to see. There's stuff here definitely that we're not allowed to see. I also think something came up and took the Titanic. Something came up. What is this portal? Is it, you know, we think, oh, is Atlantis still under the sea? Is it hidden and we all can go see it? Or is it actually, because I remember the Atlantis felt so dark, the Atlantic Ocean felt so dark. It felt so sinister and heavy in places. What if there's a heavy frequency there? That's still claiming. What if it's a heavy frequency that's still claiming? But it's claiming things that are greedy, because that's what it needs. So, if you're thinking about an entity, a dark entity, they feed off lust, greed, vengefulness, anger, tearful, trauma, greediness, drug addictions, alcohol. They love it. Sex addictions, they love it. They love it. They'll feed off that. So they'll take more of that from you. They'll encourage you to partake in that behaviour, to feed, because you're feeding them. They love it. It's their food. It's what sustains them. What they can't tolerate is love, light, healing, joy, fun. It burns them. They can't deal with it. Is this something in that particular part of the ocean that when there's something to do with ego, it feeds off of it? It feeds off of it. It feeds off of it. It comes in and takes from it. Takes it in the dead of night when nobody's watching. Comes up. Can you see the Scorpio there? Scorpion. Was it also a dark portal that was made via man, the species of the time? You know, you think of things like Bermuda Triangle and all of that. Is this something, you know, that I think there's always stories about ships that go missing, and there's all kinds of folklore, and I know in like Scotland there is, and in Ireland there's all kinds of folklore about ships that go missing, sailors that go missing. I know there's sea spirits that can take you and they can sing to you, and people, that's why some people jump in. People, like, literally, you hear it all the time on cruise ships. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Somebody just jumps in, they just fell in. That's why I'm always cautious when I'm on a cruise ship. I'm always wary. I'm not in fear, but I'm always wary of where we are, what we're doing, how we're feeling, because the sea is a powerful entity. The sea is a powerful entity. And water is a powerful, you know, I've always said to people, and clients laugh at me when I say this, if you want to talk to spirit, go sit on the toilet, stand in the shower, wash up. If you're starting to learn how to talk to spirit and you're starting to practice your psychic skills, do it whilst you're washing up. Do it whilst you sit on the toilet. Do it whilst you're in the bath. God, can they see you in the bath? No, they don't. Why, Claire? Because water is a conductor. If you think of water in a sea, especially like the Atlantic Ocean, that's vast, that's full of all kinds of stories, that goes deeper than the mind can believe. What else is going on there? Are these dark portals that just need a certain ingredient for it to take it? And again, at a higher level, it's all interconnected. Is it also attached to astrology? Is it also attached to certain moon phases, certain shifts in the earth, the geomagnetic, the solar flares, the Schumann? That it just needs a certain amount of food. And Bob's your uncle. You were like some folklore. Is it Irish folklore? I forget. Apologies. No, it's not. It is. Gary was telling me about it. I've read it in books, I'm sure I have. I know no. About beliefs about children going missing, little children. This is ancient, you know, children going. I won't share it because I'm not sure the full story of it. But history is full of it, where things go missing, people go missing, children go missing, babies go missing, and we call it so many folklore. But actually, is it? Or is it something else? Is it something that is dark and the light are having to go in to turn it into something light because they don't want to freak us out? Is it all of it? Is there an aspect of all of it in it? You see why I like doing these videos? Is there an aspect of all of it in it? A little bit of light, a little bit of dark. Okay. Show me the energy of the Atlantic Ocean around where the Titanic sank. Show me the energy where the Titanic sank and where she is now. Show me the energy and where Titan went down. Show me the energy of the ocean. Show me the energy of the ocean. Atlantic Ocean, show me the energy of the ocean where that happened. Achievement, 8 of Pentacles, yeah. Greed. Abundance. Is it a female energy that's doing it? Victory. You know, like a shark swims round its victim and then claims it and takes it to the bottom of the ocean. Can you see what I'm seeing here? You know why I use this deck. Abandonment, and then we see the other side of it. Is the sea narcissistic? Are these energies within the sea narcissistic? King of Pentacles, trust. Are there energetic wars going on under the sea? I know sometimes, it doesn't happen often, we can get wars within the galactic realms. And you can tell when that happens, because anyone with any kind of bad entity on them fly, you'll have a day where you're like, what's wrong with people? Systems crash, you feel weird, everyone's at each other, there's loads of road rage, it's just like, what the hell's happening? It's because there's a war in the galactic realms, the light and the dark having a kick off, and the light's moved in because they don't like what the dark doing, there's been a boof and it's all flipped out. And anyway, it's the same thing. Is there a war under the sea? Is there good beings? There is good beings under the sea, I'm hearing. It's not, I don't want people going from this reading thinking, oh my God, the sea is beautiful, it's cleansing, but it also must be respected. What I'm feeling also is there's good under the sea. There's good kings of the sea, queens of the sea, but there's also something sinister there, especially in the Atlantic Ocean. Look at it swimming. It's like a shark when it swims around a person before it takes it. The wisdom, the high priest. Practicality. Is the Atlantean frequency also wanting to come back? Because if I look at my cards here, they're all positive apart from two cards. Are those two cards representation of the heaviness that I keep talking about? Apologies, honestly, what's going on? I remembered I'd not put the slow cooker on for tea. Anyway, yeah, so I think there's two things going on in that ocean. I think there's maybe a dark portal that is fed that way. I think there's truth in all of it. Show me the energy of Titanic now. Show me the energy of Titanic. 3 cards. Just keep it 3 cards. Show me the energy of Titanic now. Love. But look what's swimming round it now. Completion. Manifestation, the Magician. I think something dark under the sea had something to do with that. But I also think, you know, the sword one with the shark swimming round it and now it's the dolphin swimming round it. She's at peace. Growth, Ace of Wands. So right, so also, was that the start, the Titanic going down in that part of the sea, also the start of us surrendering to our darkness, being eaten up by our own darkness, going down, having the shark swimming round us, it goes down, then it's saved by the light. Was it about switching back on those codes? Look at those cards. Love, completion, manifestation. What's the energy of the Titanic now? There's no darkness there. It's Atlantis, isn't it? It's Atlantis. It's coming back. It's coming back. There's more happened that night in April 2012. It wasn't 2012, was it? It was 1912. But what happened in 2012? The amount of clients I have, and myself, that had serious trauma events in 2012, 100 years after the Titanic went down. It was, wasn't it? Let me just check the date of that. I'm sure it was 1912. 1912, I like to be sure of dates. Where are we? Titanic, she's Googling. Not the film. Yeah, 1912. How many of you look back to 2012 and remember something horrific happening? Or, I don't know, a big breakthrough in your life? How many people have, I mean, there's lots of spiritual stuff on it, lots of New Age stuff on it, lots of case studies on it, people having big awakenings in 2012, big life-changing events in 2012. Anybody does numerology? Take the floor right now. Work that out for me, please. 2012. And put it together for me, please, and put it in the comments. Thank you. How rude. Anyway, I know some of you are good at numerology, that's why. 100 years afterward. That was him, because that was the big 100-year anniversary after Titanic, wasn't it? Yeah. It's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. King of the Ocean, order. Page of Cups, imagination. That reminds me of the young lad that went down with Titan. He has a huge role in this. Because if you look at the Titan, it was full of older men, older rich men. There was also that young boy that went down with the young frequency. I feel he belongs down there in Atlantis, that young boy. He's not a young boy, he's a young man. He had something to show us in all of this. The heartache, 3. Oh no, I asked for 3 and I'm going on. 3 of Swords, 1 more card, Ambition, King of Swords. But what's happened is it going to get tampered with again? And this is why Titan's ended up like it has done. Because the energy's settled, order, imagination. But then, those rich elite, 3 of Swords, there's the Kings of Swords. We have to be so careful around that area. Right. Show me the energy of the Atlantic Ocean where the Titanic went down. Show me the energy of the Atlantic Ocean where the Titanic went down. And Titan. Show me that part of the ocean. Show me the energy. Actuarians. Again, look at it. It's codes, symbols. Pure white light, DNA healing, sacred geometry. It's sacred geometry. Symbols. I was talking about symbols, portals, codes, light language of which we can't see. Earth and air at the bottom. Stabilisation, physical integration, mental clearing. Earth and air. Flow. Release, control, divine will, oceanic consciousness. Powerful. I wonder if another event could come from this. I hate doing freaky stuff like this. I wonder if another big event, but it feels like a more organic, natural disaster that happens around the Atlantic Ocean. To clear itself. Fire of transformation, radical purification, violet flame, surrendering, resurrection. Powerful, isn't it? If you've been watching me a while, you know, I use this now and again. Have you ever seen these cards come out? I haven't. I've never seen these cards come out, ever. Surrender, release, misaligned energies, retune to your truth. It's the rising up. You know, I'm conscious that I'm using the Lemurian Starchild, Lemuria energy. That's just had an issue there, hasn't it? With Maui. I'm also conscious that at the time of doing this is an issue around Stonehenge, with certain people wanting to build roads through the ley lines. It's like a battle between the light and the dark around these places, around these sacred for abundance, for money. Fullness of source, enough for all, open. Land being reclaimed back, the sea being reclaimed back. Freedom of movement. Arise, know and flow as the love you are, bliss. Last cloak, release old identities, magnificence realised. Share space, telepathy, co-creation, communicating, honouring. The Atlanteans used to communicate via telepathy, and people are coming on board with that again. People are starting, even people that are not on the path, so people say the path. You think about someone, they'll ring. You think about someone, they'll appear. You'll think about someone at work, they'll ring in sick, that kind of thing. So we're starting to come on grid, back on grid. Everyone is with this. Everyone is. And it's spiritual ignorance. You just think, no, it's not. It's just the awakened. It's everyone. It's starting to come on grid with telepathy, with psychic tendencies, with being able to feel things in certain areas. I also feel this isn't just about the Atlantic Ocean or Atlantis. This is about all over the world, where there's been sacred places, and not necessarily the main sacred places like the pyramids, but like different, like you could walk into some woods and you may say, Claire, the woods near me are like, whoa. And it's just like going more and more, whoa, because it's coming back on grid. Situations arising around these places, even like Stonehenge. Many people wouldn't have even known Stonehenge existed, really, honestly. Some people, you know, they just don't know. But this getting it in the news is making people focus on Stone. What's the hell Stonehenge? Oh, stone circle. Oh, what's a stone circle? I'll have to go find out what stones. Oh, and while Dolores talks about it in her books, while you're looking at Stonehenge, you're reconnecting. There's codes coming through. People carry codes. Dolores carried codes. She was told you carry codes. Wherever you go, people feel things. Things shift and change. Princess Diana was a huge code carrier. The last year of her life, from honestly 1997, she was full of light. And that light, she held that light for a reason. Whether you like it or you not is irrelevant. She held that light for a reason. Her death was similar to this. That'd be a nice one to look at, would it, Claire, in the cards? Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to look at other things, like the death of Diana, Stonehenge. If you'd like me to do this similar layout today with other things in the world, and let's have a look at them. Because that whole thing with Diana, that grief that came in the world afterwards, it was an absolute outpouring of grief. And I don't think it was all about Diana. It was a portal that opened up. Portals open up all the time. They give you a chance to reconnect. I've spoken in previous videos about the Arthurian connection I feel that all of those characters have, and what they're also trying to teach us. And I think gradually, slowly, we're reconnecting back with our ancient mythical legends. The card of expression, authentic expression, words are powerful truth. What have I just been saying about codes within the words? Ethereal matter, spiritualized matter, new life, sparkles, bedded in light. Fire and water. See, yeah, we had the Titan, then we had Maui. Stillness amidst turmoil. Feel emotional integration. One more card. Ooh. Oh, it comes out upside down. Cosmic self. Upside down. Why? Because we still can't remember. We still, even when we claim we can remember, we're still not being who we're meant to be. We're still not being, you know, we're scared of being ourselves. You are a cosmic being. Stay confident in your truth. But even that is being hijacked. I'm speaking my truth, and for in some cases, people are using it to be actually quite nasty. This is my truth, and I'll speak it. But I'm a light worker, so I can do that. And I'm not saying all people are doing that, but there is a big energy out there at the minute, and it's dark. It's dark. It's dark. But they're trying to say to us, we need to stop it. Spiritual vulnerabilities as well. We say, you know, we've done some work here, but we don't have all the answers. I know of people out there that I have followed in the past that would sit here and claim they'd done all this work, they were right, their guide had said this, they're right, you're wrong, don't argue with me in the comments or I'll shoot you down, and that's that. But actually, no, this is just a tiny little fragment of a huge story, of a huge event in our world, in our consciousness. And you guys will see it from a different perspective because you're able to watch it. So as you're watching it, you'll be getting things as well. See, if we all, I've said this before, if we all got into a room together, we'd all get different things about different things because we all tie into different things. It's impossible for one human to get everything. So if I said to you all, right, let's meet up in a circle and I want to do a reading on Anne Boleyn. So we all sit in this circle. We'd all get similar things, but we'd all get different things. But it don't mean to say I'm right, you're wrong, you're right, I'm wrong, they're right. It doesn't. It's because of different perspectives. If you think everything is multi-layered, multi-dimensional, so to get if I got everything, if I was given all the information now, you would see me die on camera. That's how crazy it is. It's like I say to clients, it is impossible to heal everything in one healing session. Why, Claire? You would die. You would fry. I would die. I would fry. You would fry. It would be too much for you. Your system couldn't cope. it's the same with this kind of stuff, especially this kind of stuff where it's all like sacred geometry and sacred systems, and it would be too much to all for one person to get it all. So I'm hearing it's safer for a group of different people with different abilities and strengths to be able to get it all than just one person. Always be mindful of that. That person that claims they are, that, you know, I can only get this, nobody else can get this. That's not right. That's not right. I will enjoy looking at the comments after this video is finished, because I know that there'll be different things brought to the table. Some of you will already have a vast amount of knowledge about this and go, wow, yeah. It's very, 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 very interesting, and I think I would like to do more work in this type of work on this channel. I'm always thinking of work. I don't ever like to stick to the same things. I get bored. But at the same time, I don't just like to just chuck all out there, which is why I tend to do a lot of tarot scopes now and a lot of dailies, because that's not just chucking out there. But I also like to throw in a little bit of space now and again. Yeah, I might even finish this. Why am I wrapping it up? Have you enjoyed this? We can look at the Bermuda Triangle. We can look at the pyramids. We can look at Stonehenge. We can look at Tor. All kinds of things. All kinds of things. You know, like we can look at the death of Diana, not from a conspiracy point of view, but from this point of view, because, yeah, and the death of JFK, that's one that pulls people in. Looking at the codes around Dallas, Texas, looking at the codes around Paris, looking at the energies around it. All kinds of things we can do with this channel, actually, and these videos. A new playlist has been birthed. Oh, activity and intuition. Yay, let's do it. High Priestess, intuition, Knight of Wands. Bring it to the table, let's do it. Itchy nose now. Let's get a drink of water. Show me the energy of Atlantis now. 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 Please. Show me the energy of Atlantis now. Show me the energy of Atlantis now. Loyalty. Knight of Pentacles. King of Swords. Ambition. Reunion. The Three of Cups. The Moon, illusion. So I've just got another vision now. I'll share it with you. What if it still exists, but it's existed in energetic form, or in a form that we can't see as humans? What if they claimed the Titanic and the Titan to do investigations on the species, on craft, on where we're at, and humans? Not in a bad way. This doesn't feel sinister. I don't want people being scared. This is not a scary video. And it feels like, what if the people that were, have I said this? I don't know what I've said in this video, what I haven't, with it being split into thousands of takes. Maybe the people that died on Titanic were also part of, when I said Lemuria then, probably was, part of Atlantis. If it's also a test, isn't it? Oh God, this is like Outlander this. I'm getting time travelling. Time travelling. They time travel from, what if they time travel from Atlantis and then they went back to Atlantis via the Titanic? That's what I'm getting now, that's the vision I'm getting. It's illusion, but we go, oh shit, I can't see it. I can't see the full picture because we're not meant to. It's illusion. like I always, you know, when I said about Twin Towers, to me, when Twin Towers happened, it reminded me of the Tower card in the tarot deck, the Tower. And I think when that went down, it was a tower moment for the world, but it was a tower moment. Every individual on the earth at that moment was having their own tower moment. It was a symbolism. It's symbolism. It's where we all were as a collective in a tower moment. You know, tower moments can be good and bad. It can be an amazing breakthrough. It can be an amazing tragedy that gives you breakthrough. But it was like a tower moment. That's where we were. When the Titanic went down, it was like a sinking ship. Were we a sinking ship? Growth. There's always growth though, Ace of Wands. There's always chance to come back. Endurance, the Seven of Wands. The options, the Two of Pentacles. Resilience, the Queen of Swords. To walk this path, it takes endurance. It takes being able to balance your options, being able to balance your emotions. Resilience. Being able to be comfortable with the shark swimming around you. Anyway, oh, I want to carry this reading, but I'm conscious I have a session coming up. Final card for this reading, please. Final card for this reading. Thanking all those for watching and thanking all those that have turned up to assist. I'm sure we'll be revisited at some point. Recognition, Three of Pentacles, working together as communities. Responsibility, being responsible in what we say, what we do, our actions, our reactions. Security, Four of Pentacles, being able to ground. Maybe that's the story as well. The makers of the Titanic became ungrounded in their ambition, their greed, in their ego. The makers of Titan, the people that went down, became ungrounded in their need to see the bare bones of a skeleton of Titanic. The people of Atlantis became so ungrounded with their powers that they just destroyed themselves. We are on a par to do the same, but we can turn it around at this point. We can do the full, the new beginning. Endings, letting the past go, learning from our past mistakes, you know, past life, past lifetimes, past civilizations. If you think about it, we've all been everything. We've all been everything. Judgment, self-reflection, a time of deep self-reflection, being honest with yourself, warts and all the fractures, not just trying to push something about, no, I am perfect, grandiose. We don't want that. That's what destroyed Atlantis. That's what destroyed the Titanic. That's what destroyed Titan. That's what destroys it all. Something else wanting to come in, and maybe we're in now the purge of this, which is why the world feels so horrible at times, because we're in the purge of this. People are having to purge it out. So how are they doing it? It's coming out by the mouth, via actions, by all kinds of things. Choices, the lovers, because we need to come back together. Calm, finding calm in the chaos of the world, understanding the bigger picture. Transformation, death. Look at Titanic. See what I mean? Here she is. She's trying to show us. You know, who else has seen, we've all seen that picture below the sea. It's the death card, transformation. Final cards from this deck, and then I will leave you lovely people to enjoy your days. Ooh, I'm looking forward to doing more of this similar content. Obviously, I'm a one-man band, so it won't all happen overnight, but I will try and get some other content up looking at different... I might just stick to the places at the minute of places that I've been to, like Tor, Stonehenge, etc., and then branch out into other places. Essences and energies. Attune to subtle energies, balance frequency holders. Blessing beyond the soul path. Honour all life, exchange of joy without karma or sacrifice. That's what we're working towards as well. Having a life without karma. Dolphin baby. Lemurian origin, flow, timeless, adaptable, free. Take your time. Take your time with your spiritual path. Stop trying to push yourself. You know, stop wanting to be a shaman. You're not going to be a shaman. You know, you've got to be born into a certain heritage line to be a shaman. Stop pressurising yourself. Stop letting ego run the show. Be comfortable with not having all the answers. Portals, doorways into now, letting go of the warrior. Element of the ways, attune to nature's signs to find your way, follow your heart. So being able to tune into the water, the trees, the earth, the sand, the soil, the stones, dolphins. Play, it's okay to relax, smile again, share your life, flow, all of that. Having fun. Fun is a great way to upgrade yourself. Elders, spiritual mentoring, equality, stability, wisdom, experience and councils. So all the different councils, all the different councils of light, Galactic Council, Atlantean Council, this is huge right now on this planet. You're very lucky to be here. Star Children, no veils, psychic, different, cosmic inspiration and light. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, drop me, you want to comment but you're not sure what to comment with, drop me a sea emoji, drop me a boat, drop me rainbows, drop me something that reminds you of Atlantis. And I will see you in the next one. Like, comment and subscribe. Look out for the new playlist that I will build over time. And let me know if you like this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi folks, Editing Claire here. I'm just editing today's video because it needs editing because it's in parts. And guess what I'm Googling? I'm Googling Titanic and Atlantis. And guess what I find out? And I didn't know this pre-filming, I swear to you. One of the ships, or the ship, I'm not sure, that found the wreckage of Titanic was called RV Atlantis 2. You can't make this stuff up. I can't believe what I've just read. That it was found, or one of the ships that found it, was called Atlantis. Again, you can't make it up.